Good evening and welcome to Honeoye Falls-Lima, where tonight we have Section 5 Class B sectional playoff football between the 7th-seeded Dansville Wayland-Cohocton football team and the home Honeoye Falls-Lima Cougars. Cougars being the 2 seed. I'm Peter Carosa, joined alongside Steve Bradley for tonight's game. Steve, let's start with the weather tonight.
Oh, gorgeous, Peter. This could be the season opener. It's so nice, and it's gorgeous. It's going to be great for both teams. And kind of the cool thing is these teams just played 2 weeks ago, Peter, so there's a lot of familiarity. It was a very good game for maybe into midway through the third quarter. Cougars pulled away to win 32-3. But this Dansville Wayland-Cohocton football team may be seeded 7th, but I don't think they're the 7th best team in Class B.
So before we have the 2 teams announced tonight, let's start with the Bullfinch Fun keys to the game. First key tonight for both teams is capitalize opportunities. As you mentioned, Steve, these 2 teams played a mere 2 weeks ago, and it was DWC who had the upper hand in the first half, 3 trips to the red zone, only resulting in 3 points, and the Cougars scored 32 unanswered points, 26 in the second half to win that game.
Yeah, and you get the playoffs, and that's what you need to do. The second one is contain Nate Gardner. He's a Dansville Wayland-Cohocton quarterback, also plays defense. He's the cog in that engine. He's the one that Coach Chad Perry says makes them go. He was injured on the 4th play of the season. This is really only his 4th full game back, and Dansville Wayland-Cohocton has gotten better every week.
And the last Bullfinch Fun keys to the game, it's the last game of the regular season for one of these 2 teams tonight. Playoff football, can't hold anything back now. Whatever you have in your playbook, whatever it takes to get a win tonight and to move on.
And that's what both coaches said. They're not going to hold anything back. We saw Dansville Wayland-Cohocton run a Philly special pass last week against Batavia. HFL dialed up the special teams and had 2 block punts for touchdowns against Wayne. So everything we see is going to be to extend the season. And HFL, Peter, this is a great set. They're looking to advance to the semifinals for the 6th straight season.
And right on cue, there's the Class B bracket as it stands. You can see the 4 matchups in the quarterfinal round. 4 teams will move on to the semis next weekend as the home HFL Cougars are announced here at James Dollard Athletic Stadium. As we are just about a couple minutes away from kickoff here, we'll have the national anthem as well as the coin toss.
And I think, Peter, the key for the Cougars, too, we saw them come out with a lot of emotion, almost like the Buffalo Bills. Get that quick start. They went almost the whole first half the last time against DWC without scoring. So come out, get in that rhythm, and try to establish that tempo. If you're DWC, you want to do the same script with the only change is score more points and put a little bit more pressure on the Cougars.
So we will have the national anthem sung here at HFL. We will go with a recorded rendition of the national anthem by the Honeoye Falls Select Choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting
And with that, we are ready for the coin toss here at HFL. We'll have the captains come out to midfield, and then we'll be ready for the opening kickoff. Steve, you want to read tonight's officiating crew?
Sure. The man in the white hat tonight, Robert Austin, the referee. The umpire will be Bill Van Auken. The linesman, Doug Camp. The line judge, Noel Evans. And the back judge is Paul Marsh. And, Peter, I think, when I said earlier that Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton isn't your typical number 7 seed, we go right back to last week against Batavia when they had a 34-28 loss. Batavia, the number 3 seed. And Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton had the ball in the fourth quarter inside the 10-yard line of Batavia with a chance to tie or take the lead in that game. So I'm expecting this to be a very competitive game.
So captains out on the field, Reed Martin, Zayden Van Durm Blackman, Nate Gardner, and number 78, Landon Joseph. For the home HFL Cougars, Matt Meacham, Ben Cook, Andrew Wazenreed, and Austin Krigo. So DWC, the visitors, they'll have the call here in the air. As there's the toss. And HFL has won the toss. They are going to elect to defer. So DWC will start on offense.
HFL will be kicking toward the south end zone. And HFL kicking, let's talk about Matt Meacham a little bit and his leg. We're going to see him on the kickoff, but last week against Wayne, he made 3 field goals of beyond 25 yards. So that could be a weapon for the Cougars that we haven't seen until later in the season here. And for DWC, Peter, I think the key here is just to establish that rhythm on offense and see how Nate Gardner goes. He threw for over 200 yards last week, a couple of touchdowns, and he also caught a touchdown pass. So Gardner, number 8, is definitely the player to watch.
This opening kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. And as you mentioned, it's Matt Meacham who has the ball teed up for the Cougars. Ready to get this one underway. Waiting on the whistle as we have a little dance done by the referees switching sidelines before the kickoff. And there's the whistle. Ball away. And away we go. Quarterfinal game between HFL and DWC. DWC will start at about the 20-yard line as we look at tonight's defensive player to watch, brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. And it's defensive end Cooper Levine.
Cooper Levine with a huge game last week. He was a Class B Defensive Player of the Week. He actually scored 2 touchdowns off of block punts, had a block punt himself, recovered a fumble, made 5 tackles. So he was all over the field, really came into his own and had a huge game when the Cougars really needed him in that regular season finale.
So 1st and 10 here for DWC. Here's the snap. Pass play to start. Loads one up deep, and that's going to be overthrown. Looking in the direction of number 3, that's Reed Martin.
And Conor Finn with the coverage there, Peter, number 0. Conor Finn, the last time these two teams played, had a huge game, 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery, had a pick 6, and he actually earned himself the Class B Player of the Week. Looking at the linemen, we've got Ben Cook at defensive end, Austin Krigo and Owen Engler to tackle, Harrison Houle, outside linebacker, Alex Steinhoff, an outside linebacker.
We'll take a look at the rest of this starting HFL defense after 2nd down. So after the incomplete pass, DWC goes with a handoff right up the middle. He'll gain about 3 or 4 yards, so that'll bring up 3rd and about 7. As we take a look at the rest of the Cougars starting defense, Aaron Fasik, middle linebacker, Wazenreed, Hammond, Finn, and Yakabuchi round out that HFL defense. So,
good
3rd and 7.
Yep, and good chance here for the Cougars to get off the field with a good play on defense. 3rd and 7. This was something that they weren't able to do the first time around 2 weeks ago, so let's see what kind of adjustments have been made.
So we have 3 receivers to the top of the screen for DWC. Play action. Rolls out, launches one deep downfield, and that was intended for Reese Dixon, but just a little bit too far and out of bounds. So DWC faces 4th down on their first offensive possession. Here's another look.
Yeah, Gardner rolls out. He's dangerous. We know he can tuck it away and scramble. Airs it out downfield, drifts out of bounds. Good coverage by the Cougars and a great first series for HFL.
So Reed Martin will come in for DWC at about his own 11-yard line. Here's the snap. Martin, the kick. It's a short one, end over end. Going to take a bounce at about midfield and will keep bouncing and take a little bit of a DWC roll. And at the 40-yard line, that's where HFL will start with the ball. So taking a look at the Bullfinch Fun player to watch here on offense for HFL, it's senior quarterback Matt Meacham.
Yeah, what else can we say about Meacham? He had a great regular season, completed almost 2/3 of his passes, 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, and a great quarterback rating. He's also shown the ability in the last couple of weeks to get things done on the ground.
1st and 10 here for HFL. Doubles formation. Meacham collects the snap. Quick pass there to the near side. That's Keaton Yates. Going to get about 8 yards there. We'll take a look at the rest of this HFL offense here.
Linemen are Aaron Fasek at left tackle, Brody Burke at left guard, Patrick Adair is the center, Mitchell Martini at left guard, and Austin Krigo is the right tackle.
So 2nd and 5 here for HFL. Same formation. Pre-snap motion is Landon Hammond. Meacham to throw. Rolls out to his right, slings it, and that's going to be dropped. He had 2 players in the area. Keaton Yates just couldn't reel it in. As we take a look at the last group of starters on this offense for HFL, running back Ben Cook, wide receivers Steinhoff, Hammond, Yakabuchi, and Wazenried.
And that was a great job by Meacham to extend the play, got a good look and an opportunity to convert, just wasn't able to complete the play.
So 3rd and 4 for HFL. Meacham from the gun. Hammond again in motion. This time it's a handoff to Cook. And Cook's going to surge ahead. He's going to be about a yard short. So it'll bring up 4th and short at about midfield. Decision time here for the Cougars.
Yeah, I think it's hard to tell because Matt Meacham, the way he's jogging out there, Peter, looks like closer to punt formation. Nice play there on the DWC defense by the linebacker, 34, Charles Henshin. So HFL looking to play the field position game, although we have seen them try gimmicks and special teams before, and here they go.
And we got a penalty. And it looks like this one might be against DWC, the initial indication. Here's the call, neutral zone infraction, and HFL will pick up the 1st down due to the flag, and that 1st down brought to you by HFMP. HFMP is proud to celebrate 40 years of commitment to nourishing HFL athletes and their families.
And in our pregame preparation, Coach John Russ of HFL really praised Ryan Wise, his special teams coordinator, all the work he puts in. Cougars' first appearance on special teams, they're able to draw the penalty and extend this drive.
So HFL comes back out in their typical shotgun formation. Meacham handoff to Cook. And it looks like Cook's going to be stopped in the backfield by a trio of DWC players.
Yeah, Henshin is at the bottom of that pile, 34, who we mentioned. And number 54, or 55, that's Colby Knapp. And Knapp is Caleb Knapp, I'm sorry. He's one of the top defensive linemen in Class B. Nice play there on the line of scrimmage. Lost there, 2nd and 11 for the Cougars.
And Cook is somebody who's averaging 7.8 yards a carry, so a rare loss of yards there for him, as it's 2nd and 11 now for the Cougars. Meacham to throw, looks, fires over the middle. That's going to be caught by number 8. That's Alexander Steinhoff, who makes a couple misses and is eventually brought down at about the line to gain, waiting on the call here.
I think he got it, Peter. He was able to dance around a little bit, surge forward. I think with the spot here, he's going to have the first down.
And it is a first down brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. The butchers at HFMP will cut your meat to order. It does not get any better than that.
So a little bit of rhythm starting to develop here for the HFL offense. Back-to-back first downs now at the 36-yard line, DWC. And this is an area of the field where HFL really likes to open up the playbook, sometimes take that shot at the end zone.
Cook motions to Meacham's right. From the gun, looks like he might be barking out an audible. And we got a timeout, before the snap. So HFL takes a timeout here with about 8:16 to go in the first quarter. This timeout brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. Steve, do you think we saw maybe an audible being called? Wonder if the HFL coaching staff didn't see the same thing that maybe Meacham saw?
Well, and I think that may have been it, and they were probably getting late in the play clock, and just having such positive momentum early in the game, you don't want to take that 5-yard penalty and back yourself out. You know, it's one of those things where the 35-yard line, we've seen HFL try to take that shot at the end zone. First down, Dan Hoyt's back calling plays this week, and I think you're right. They just weren't on the same page because Matt Meacham knows this playbook inside and out, and sometimes he's got the authority from Coach Russ to call something, but it just seemed that you're right. I think they just were not on the same page. Now they go Andrew Wanzenreed down ISO this side of the field with trips to the top.
And as you mentioned, that is the formation, and Cook will shift to Meacham's left. And it's going to be a wide receiver screen to the far side. That's Landon Hammond, who's going to be up for a gain of about 7 or 8 yards there on first down.
Yeah, well-designed play there. The rush came in. Meacham was able to get rid of the ball fast. Steinhoff out in front. Keaton Yates out in front, and a great gain on first down, about 8 yards.
So second and short now for the Cougars. You think they'd take maybe a shot towards the end zone here?
You know, they could. You could also just give it to Cook and go there. I think that we'll see that formation we just saw before and then take the shot on the other side. You might have used the screen as some eye candy to take some attention away from Wanzenreed. So
they fake the handoff and they go a wide receiver screen to the other side. This is Andrew Wanzenreed, who's got more than enough for the first down, brought to you by HFMP. At Honeoye Falls Marketplace, 7 days of savings means every day you save. Check out their website or circular for details on their daily deep discounted item.
And Matt Meacham really seems to be in a pretty good rhythm tonight. I think he's 3 for 4 with just the one completion on the drop earlier in the drive.
First and 10 now for HFL. Just outside of the red zone. 3 receivers to the near side. High snap. Meacham's able to bring it in. Looking to his left and fired in the direction of Steinhoff, but they just couldn't connect there.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a hitch route. Steinhoff, the defender's backing up. He stops at the 10, loses footing a little bit, unable to adjust to the ball, second down.
So the clock stops at 6:58 in the first quarter.
HFL offense looks very comfortable tonight, though. Almost as opposed to 2 weeks ago where things were a little bit of a slog. They seem to come out in a good rhythm tonight and ready to go.
Second and 10 for the Cougars. And it's a design quarterback keeper. It's Meacham who powers ahead. And this is something that we really haven't seen too much by the Cougars, the design quarterback run. We talked with head coach Russ earlier this week, and it's something that they've kind of been working in their playbook a little bit.
Yeah, that's something that has emerged later in the season. Meacham was able to have a touchdown run for the first touchdown against DWC a couple weeks ago near the end of the first half. Had a long one. I think it was a 4th and short that he broke for about 47 yards against Wayne, and it just gives the defense one more thing to defend.
So the design quarterback run play brings up 3rd and manageable for HFL. Now in the red zone as Cook motions to Meacham's right. Bunch receivers to the bottom, and they go right back to the well there on the wide receiver screen, and Hammond makes a first man miss and gets inside the 10-yard line for an HFL first down, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace, true blue local for 40 years.
Well executed play there, and that play doesn't happen without the block thrown by Keaton Yates. As soon as the ball was in Hammond's hands, Yates was able to seal that, give him a little time and space, and now the Cougars are first and goal.
First and goal from the 9.
4 first downs on this initial drive, Peter.
So the Cougars, first time tonight, we're seeing 2 backs in the backfield. That's Conor Finn to the left, and he will get the handoff with Cook in front of him, and he's going to surge ahead inside the 5-yard line, about maybe 4 yards short of the goal line.
And Conor Finn's role on offense has really emerged also as the season has gone on. The Cougars have not been with Patrick Donahoe for the majority of the season with injury. Good to see him in uniform back tonight. Finn has kind of stepped into that role as kind of the X factor with the jet sweeps and as the second back there, and did a nice job getting half the yardage towards the goal line.
So a long drive here for HFL as the Cougars look to cap it off with a touchdown. Second and goal. Meacham hands off to Cook, trying to beat the edge there. A couple of DWC players are able to drag him down, and he's denied maybe a gain of about a yard.
And that was a great job by Nate Gardner. The quarterback also plays defensive back. And number 51, Elijah Bender, just stringing that play out, not giving Cook anywhere to go. And Ben Cook is a much more effective runner when his shoulders are square rather than when he's running toward the sideline.
So Cougars facing third and goal, ball at the 4-yard line. About 4.5 to go in the first quarter. 3 receivers to the near side. Meacham's going to roll out to his right, fire towards the end zone, and it's going to be caught for the touchdown. Number 11, that's Andrew Wazenreed, finding the Meehan Architecture end zone for the 8th time this season.
And a well-designed play. Meacham scrambles. Yates sets up on the goal line. Then Wazenreed comes behind the defense. Ball's right there. He puts it away. 6-0 Cougars with 4:25 to go here in the first.
So here's the extra point attempt. It is Matt Meacham lining up with Nate Meacham, his brother, holding. Here's a snap. Kick is up. And it's good. Cougars 7, DWC nothing. We'll take another look at that touchdown play for HFL.
Yep, Matt Meacham scrambles, buys a little bit of time. Looks like maybe Hammond might have been the first look. Wazenreed comes back across the back. He's there, Peter. That's their 20th touchdown pass between those two in the last 2 seasons. Pretty effective combination.
We mentioned that was the 8th for Wazenreed, and that's Meacham's 18th on the season. So this upcoming kickoff will be brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
And to put that Wazenreed touchdown total in perspective, Peter, he missed the first 2 games of the season, so this is really only game 7 for him. So he averages more than a touchdown catch per game. And his return for the Batavia game really is what sparked the Cougars on this 6-game winning streak. They had lost their first 2, were able to come back and beat Batavia after falling behind early. And Wazenreed had 2 touchdowns in that game, and he's been there all season since.
So Meacham again, ball teed up at the 40-yard line for this kickoff. Class B quarterfinals between the 7th-seeded Dansville Wayland-Cohocton football team and the 2-seeded HFL Cougars, as we have a big run back here for DWC. This is Van Durm Blackman, who's going to get up past midfield. So just what the doctor ordered for DWC on this return. They start with great field position here in HFL territory.
Yeah, Meacham with more of a squib kick this time. The first time he kicked it deep. Van Durm Blackman has been one of the players to watch all season for the Cougar or for the football team. Picks it up at the 10, gets a little bit of a seam, and next thing you know, he's at the 40, and Matt Meacham's just trying to slow him down and get him out of bounds. So almost a 50-yard return.
So DWC ball at the HFL 43-yard line. Here's Gardner, low snap, picks it up, looks to throw. He's got his man, and he's immediately dropped. That's
Sidor, Evan Sidor, number 10. He's not listed with a number on the roster, but that's Sidor, who's been taking a bigger role in this offense, too, as the season's gone on. And while DWC has the ball here, let's give a quick congratulations to Coach Chad Perry. He's going in the Alfred University Athletics Hall of Fame next week. He was a 4-year starter at linebacker for the Saxons. So I'm sure his hope is that his team is playing next weekend, but he's definitely got something on his schedule for next Saturday, a well-deserved honor at Alfred University.
Another throw here for DWC, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. I believe that was number 20, Aiden Schaefer, excuse me.
Yeah, and just a quick look there. Some teams have had some success against the Cougars in the short passing game. DWC, I think that's more of their method than going deep and taking the deep shots. They just missed the connection. There's 3rd and 7. Probably 2-down territory, you think, Peter?
Yeah, I think,
depending on the outcome of this play.
I think if they can make it close. You also got to think about what sort of range Reed Martin has, as it looks like Cougars are going to spot DWC 5 yards on the neutral zone encroachment.
Yeah, it looks like a hard count there by Gardner. Looked like he barked it out a little bit, got the Cougars to flinch. Now it's a much more manageable 3rd and 2.
So the playbook opens a little bit more here for DWC. 3.5 to go in the first quarter. Run play here. And it's going to be close. No, they gave it to him.
Yeah.
That's number 8, Aiden Schaefer.
Yeah, and a good job by Schaefer there. He was contacted behind the line to gain, but he managed to fall forward and get the first down. The first down of the game for DWC.
So
I was thinking that may have been a carry by Gardner coming there, but they went with a straight handoff.
So Gardner from the pistol. Oh, ball's out on the turf. And nobody. It looked like it was initially recovered by HFL, and then all of a sudden it looked like Gardner had it. Now we've got a big pile, and it looks like it is Gardner who ends up with the ball.
Right, it looked initially, you're right, like Cooper Levine was going to fall right on it. The ball pops out, and then it's just rolling around. It's between Gardner's legs. Nobody has it, and he's able to fall back on top of it. Big break there for DWC.
Cooper Levine coming off
a huge game.
A game that saw him have 2 recoveries on punt blocks for touchdowns, and that time he cannot be Johnny on the spot for the Cougars. Loss of 1 for DWC. It could have been much worse, so they'll take that as we have a handoff here.
Van Dermy Blackman on the carry.
Maybe 1 yard, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 10 now for DWC, who's trying to capitalize on the excellent return after the HFL touchdown. One of the Bullfinch Fund keys to the game was capitalizing on opportunities. And
with DWC, I think one of the things I like about their offense is the size of the receivers. Reed Martin, one of the receivers, number 3, is 6'2", 185 pounds. And then Reese Dixon is 6'4", 190. So they do have good size on the outside. And then Van Dermy Blackman in the slot also is quick and elusive there.
3rd and 10 for DWC. Gardner looks to be making a check at the line. And we've got a whistle and a stoppage.
Did they get the timeout in time? No, delay.
We have a delay, so that'll move the ball back.
Second penalty here in the first quarter on DWC, both of the 5-yard variety. But that 3rd and 10 now becomes a little bit more difficult at 3rd and 15. And
potentially pushes DWC out of field goal range if they wanted to go that route. So not quite sure what the target line is for Reed Martin, but this is probably outside of it as we have a empty set and Gardner's under pressure, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield.
I think it was Owen Englert that got there with maybe Kriego. The good pressure by Englert early. And Gardner is scrambling towards the side. You see Englert come around the side. One player goes low. Kriego's there, and it looks like Englert and Cook are there to clean up. So all 4 of the front 4 were making a push there for the Cougars.
So with 4th and very long for DWC, they'll have no choice other than to punt here. High snap, and it looks like a fake, rugby
Blocked.
style, and we have a flag on the field as this will roll to the HFL 46. So it looks like they were trying to go for a rugby style kick as we have holding against DWC. Yep, that is declined. I would assume that is the case. So the Cougars will have the ball here at their own 46-yard line with just under a minute to go in the first quarter.
I'd love to get another look at that, Peter, just to see if that's the third block punt in 2 games. But regardless, great field position for the Cougars, their own 46, where you think DWC going into that is looking to play the field position game and pin them deep.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a designed fake and it just broke down and he went with the rugby-style kick or what. But in any case, HFL with the ball, screen past the far side. That's Landon Hammond, who's going to be tackled, but he's over midfield, and he'll gain about 7 or 8 yards there.
Nice job by Hammond. He made the first tackler miss and is able to extend forward for another 5 yards.
So a nice chunk play there for HFL on first down, and it'll bring up 2nd and short.
HFL's been very good on first down so far, setting up these 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3s. They had 4 first downs on the first drive and a great start here to the second possession.
So probably the last play of the first quarter, going to be a handoff on the jet sweep to Hammond, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield.
Yeah, that's Elijah Bender. He has 17 tackles for losses coming into the game, and there's number 18. Bender's tough to take care of, and he did a great job.
So that's the first quarter. HFL leading 7-0. We'll take a quick commercial timeout.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. For nearly 30 years, Alexander Enterprises has been one of Rochester's most trusted contractors. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, deck and painting. Give Todd and the folks at Alexander Enterprises a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. And Meehan Architecture. With the Meehan Architecture Sports Update, HFL Cheerleading hosted their annual Cougar Classic Fall Competition this past Tuesday. They compete in sectionals at Gates Chili tomorrow morning at 11:30. And so after the change of direction, HFL will be facing 3rd and 8 here. And we have some pre-snap motion.
Preliminary indication is that it is against DWC, so the Cougars will get back the 5 yards that they lost on the previous play, setting up a 3rd and about 3.
So 3rd and short now after the penalty.
Third penalty so far here tonight on DWC.
So we'll call it 3rd and 3 for the Cougars.
Wanton Reed isolated at the top of the screen, trips to the bottom.
Here's the snap, Meacham to throw. Screen play to Landon Hammond, able to make the first man miss. And he's still going the 40, the 30, where he's knocked out of bounds just before the 25-yard line. That's enough for an HFL first down, brought to you by HFMP. Treat yourself tomorrow and every Saturday with a slow roasted prime rib dinner with all the fixins from HFMP for only $18.99 each.
That's the 2nd or 3rd time they've gone to Hammond out of that formation. Got the first down again. Now set up inside the 30-yard line for DWC.
So they spotted at the 28-yard line Cougars, new set of downs. Cook motions to Meacham's left, and it's going to be a quarterback run play here by Meacham. He'll get maybe 3 or 4 yards there. DWC player lost his helmet.
That was a good read by Meacham to pull that out from Cook because Cook would have had negative yardage. Cougars were able to get 3 and just keep moving forward. You think that was a designed RPO there?
Quite possibly. Like we mentioned before, HFL's been trying to work in the quarterback run plays a little bit more and giving Meacham a little bit more flexibility and responsibility. So potential RPO there for HFL gives him 3. 2nd and 7. Meacham to throw, looking to his right. Throws one to Wazenreed, who's got it. So that'll be another HFL first down, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Make every day just a little bit more special with the Stonewall collection of brands available at HFMP.
And DWC has done a pretty good job in the traditional running game. Meacham has been able to be effective, but the running backs haven't done a lot so far. But the passing game for HFL has been spot on here as they pick up first down number 6 of the first half.
So the Cougars bring trips to the near side. The popular call has been the screenplay. We'll see if they are trying to maybe set something up.
Maybe a fake to the left and get Wazenreed on a fade.
Or Steinhoff. And they look to the right. And that's going to be intercepted. Intercepted in the end zone. So a touchback for DWC. That was in and out of the hands of Andrew Wazenreed. And I believe that was number 5, Reese Dixon for DWC.
Great reaction by Dixon to make that interception in the end zone. DWC is going to start 1st and 10 at the 20. The look was there. It was just a little bit off. I don't know if it came in a little hot. Probably Wazenreed would say it's a pass that he should have and would want to have. But first turnover over the game is caused by DWC.
Meacham threw an interception to DWC in their game 2 weeks ago.
First possession, I think it was the first play of the game.
So can't stress enough, one of the Bullfinch Fund keys to the game was capitalizing opportunities. We'll see what DWC does after the turnover. Pass play over the middle. That's going to be caught. That's Reese Dixon, who's got enough for the first down.
Nice job there. Dixon just settles into the hole in the middle, makes the catch, turns forward, picks up about 7 yards after the initial catch.
Now we'll see if DWC can keep that up. Maybe some tempo if they could.
I think so, because the last game, the Cougars' pressure was able to get to Gardner a little bit as the game went on. And I think, they might turn up the heat a little bit here to try and take this rhythm away.
So here's an option play. And it looks like it's going to go nowhere. Loss of 2 or 3 there for DWC.
Ben Cook did a good job setting the edge, reading that, and forced the back to turn back towards the line of scrimmage, and he had help there. There really wasn't a lot going on for DWC. Loss of 3.
So 2nd and 12, 9:30 to go in the second quarter. HFL leading 7-0. Class B quarterfinal game between the 7-seeded DWC football team and 2-seeded HFL. Cougars winner to go on to the semifinals next week as we have a timeout by DWC. That's their first. So this timeout brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left in an old employer should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here.
And I think DWC, in our conversation with Coach Perry, he said that they wanted to be able to establish a running game tonight. They've tried a couple of times, but HFL's had the answer so far. Gardner against Batavia last week, DWC was behind by 2 touchdowns in the second half. Used the passing game to get him back in the game. Much closer game here with 9:18 to go. And I think the best recipe for DWC would be able to find that mix of a run and a pass here if they're able to.
So Loss of 2 on the option play. We'll see what DWC elects to do on 2nd and 12. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. Cougars showing blitz with Fasek. And looks like we got another neutral zone infraction penalty. Left side of the line, Cooper Levine jumping for HFL. So they spot DWC 5 yards.
Yeah, Peter, tonight there's of the accepted penalties, there's been 5 of them, all have been the 5-yard variety, and they've all been on the line, either offside or illegal procedure.
2nd and 7, low snap. Gardner picks it up, fires it, and that's in and out of the hands. This one's intercepted by Fasek. He's running him the other way to the 20, where he's brought down at about the 15-yard line. We'll take another look at that one as we have dueling interceptions, something we saw 2 weeks ago between these two teams.
But I think what we're going to see here, it looked like Fasek was going to blitz. He's lined up. He ends up dropping into coverage, and he's trailing the receiver over the middle. But just a great reaction. The ball's bobbled. He picks it up at the 45, and then he's going down the sideline with a great return inside the 20-yard line. So we asked how would DWC respond or how would the Cougars respond. The Cougars did a great job responding by getting the ball back.
And almost right back to where they turned the ball over last time when they were on offense. So the Cougars come out with 2 running backs in the backfield. Hand off to Cook. Cook hesitates. He's pulling a lineman with him, and he's going to get about 6 yards there, maybe more.
That's vintage Ben Cook right there. I believe it was Landon Joseph, the defensive lineman, that had him in the backfield, and Cook just kept those legs moving forward and picked up about 8 yards. So that's a fantastic run on first down.
So 2nd and 2. Cougars can get another first down. Again, coming out in the same formation. 2 running backs in the backfield. Finn to the left, Cook to the right. They go back to Cook again, and he's going to be tackled, I think, just short of the line. So it's going to be 1st and goal from maybe the half-yard line.
And that's the Ben Cook that we're used to seeing, gaining 7 yards a carry all season. Tackler went low at about the 5. Cook was able to hurdle him, keep lunging toward the end zone, came up just short. So 1st and goal for the Cougars right on the doorstep.
And that first down brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace.
Maybe Harrison Houle here?
So Finn becomes the up back. Here's the handoff to Houle. Houle dives into the end zone, waiting on the call, and there it is. Touchdown, Cougars. Cougars find the Meehan Architecture end zone for the 2nd time tonight. This time it's on the ground with Harrison Houle. Believe that's his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
And Houle, that got to be a big moment for him. He's kind of emerged as the primary blocker in short yardage situation. Got the carry near the goal line, sniffed it out, and found pay dirt.
Here's the snap, the hold, kick is up, and it's good. Cougars 14, DWC nothing. We'll take another look at that touchdown by Harrison Houle.
Yep, the good push by the Cougars up front. The tackler came into the backfield, got Houle low, but he's able to go up and over for the score. And you just got to love the response. The interception sets the Cougars up inside the 20. 3 runs right into the end zone. Cook 7 yards a pop on the first 2 carries, and then Houle's there to finish it off.
So as we see the play again, with 7:51 to go in the 2nd quarter, DWC will be getting the ball back here. Sense of urgency starting to kick in a little bit offensively?
A little bit. I think you definitely want to score before halftime, and plenty of time to do that. You don't want to rush or panic. They did show an ability to come back last week against Batavia, so you know that they are going to stay in the game. And I think the real key is to avoid making the mistakes and letting the Cougars kind of snowplow.
This kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. As here's the return for DWC by Van Durm Blackman. Not going to get the return that they had last time. They'll start inside their own 35-yard line.
Yeah, the deep kick there by Meacham. The coverage unit's able to get down there and have 3 players waiting for Van Durm Blackman just as he crossed the 20.
So ball at the 22-yard line. So both interceptions were off offensive players' hands first.
Yeah, the old tip ball. It's always dangerous when the ball gets tipped over the middle. Usually they talk about it getting tipped deep, but both of them were plays where the defender actually came back to meet the ball and make the play.
Quarterback's worst nightmare, too. So here's a little option reverse, and that's Dixon. He's going to get about 5 yards there.
Yeah, nice play design on the reverse. I think that's a play where DWC is maybe looking to get a little bit more, but 6 yards on first down will work.
So 2nd and 5. Great, like you mentioned, great play design. Love those sort of setups where they went to the option, it didn't work, they come back with the exact same look. It seems like HFL bit it, and then
tried to catch him with a counter, and the HFL did a good job of limiting that to just 6 yards.
2nd and 5, handoff. This is going to be a loss, tackled in the backfield.
Owen Englert making his presence known in the backfield again, able to shed his blocker early in that play and make a negative play for DWC and a positive play for the Cougars.
So 3rd and 8 for DWC. Got to think this is probably a passing down, and DWC initially looking like an empty set, but number 20, Aiden Schaefer, checks in. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Snap, Gardner to throw. Looks, fires, and that's going to be in and out of the hands of the HFL defender. That was Keaton Yates.
They're very nearly intercepted. Good job by Yates. He stays with his man, is able to jump the route, tried to put it away, knocked it down. It's going to be 4th down for DWC.
So, means Reed Martin will check in. We'll see if they just go with the traditional punt or try and do the rugby-style kick again. Didn't work out well last time.
And even the first punt was short, so DWC's had a little bit of trouble in this aspect so far.
So here's the running kick, and that's a long one. And HFL fields it, and Steinhoff's going to be dropped almost immediately inside his own 30-yard line. Didn't want that thing rolling any further.
Yeah, it was a bit of a risky play by Steinhoff, but it worked out. He was able to just, as you said, prevent the ball from going any further. It's a fantastic punt. We know that Dixon has a fantastic leg. He can kick field goals from 45 yards out. He really got into that punt and did a good job of flipping the field position. So HFL's in that place where they really like to be right now, Peter. Halfway, 6 minutes left here in the half. Obviously, you score when you can score. But last game, I think there were about 5 minutes and 40 seconds left when they got the ball, and they were able to milk the clock and score at the end, take the time away, and then come out and get the ball in the second half. We'll see what kind of drive they come out with here.
So Conor Finn checks in for HFL. He'll be the feature back as we have trips to the bottom of the screen. They've loved that wide receiver screen tonight. HFL. 1st and 10. Ball at the 29-yard line. Meacham hands off Finn. Finn straight ahead. Reverses direction, works towards the sideline, got the first down. Stiff arm past midfield, and then he's escorted out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. Conor Finn with an electric first down for HFL. That brought to you by HFMP. Haddock delivered from the Boston Fish Pier every week, making HFMP's Friday fish fry with 2 sides and fries all the more delicious.
And on that run right there, you see the shiftiness of Conor Finn, and you see the patience of Conor Finn. He got to the second level, so the initial blocking was good, made his cut, broke a tackle, and turned what was probably going to be a 7 or 8 yard play into about a 25-yard play.
So after the big gain on the ground, HFL trips to the far sideline. Meacham looking to throw. Meacham steps up, and he's going to be crunched in the backfield at midfield. That's number 55, Caleb Knapp, for DWC on the sack.
And Knapp had help there. There were 3 defensive linemen that met Meacham in the pocket. First sack of the night for the DWC football team.
Now, I didn't get a chance to see on the replay if there was maybe a check down. I saw the receiver there kind of leaking out of the backfield, but Meacham keeping his eyes far downfield and just has to eat it. Loss of 7.
And DWC has good size on the line, so even if something was developing, they're hard to see over the top of.
Hammond moves in motion.
Screen
play to Cook. Cook with a blocker in front of him. Face it. Cook down the sideline. One man to beat inside the 10. And he's going to fall into the end zone for the touchdown. HFL strikes again.
That's Dan Hoyt's play calling at its finest, right? Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton came with the pressure, got the sack on the last play. The Cougars invite the pressure here. Cook does a great job of sneaking out of the backfield, catches the ball, and really there's nobody in front of him except Aaron Fasek, who gets that last block to seal the sideline. Then Cook is racing to the corner. A diving tackle attempt. Great balance by Cook. Dives into the end zone, and the Cougars have their 3rd touchdown here in just over 2.5 quarters.
So Meacham with the point after attempt. High snap right to Meacham. Going to have to throw it, trying to make a play. Lofts it up towards the end zone, and it's going to be dropped.
Wow, the Cougars almost made something out of nothing right there, and it was throwing it to his brother. That would have been Nate Meacham on the receiving end. Matt Meacham rolls out, yells fire. We've got Nate Meacham here in the corner, puts his hand up. He's wide open. The ball is up there, and I think they're probably going to talk about that at the breakfast table tomorrow.
So, Cook finding the Meehan Architecture end zone. Cougars unable to get the point after, so it stays 20-0. Take another look at that touchdown.
This is the Conor Finn run right before, and we just see the shiftiness that really set up the Cougars. Because they were back at their own 30. That was a long field, and they went 70 yards in 3 plays. So we wondered if they tried to milk the clock. No, they moved right down the field and got that 3rd touchdown. What do you see here on the screen?
And then the sack play, and then the pre-snap motion gets everyone looking to the right side. And like you said, they had just gotten the 7-yard sack on the previous play. They were ears pinned back, looking to make another play in the backfield. And Cook does the rest with the help of his offensive linemen.
And I think, Peter, it's worth mentioning that Dan Hoyt, the offensive coordinator for the Cougars, his son got married when these teams played 13 days ago. So he wasn't here to call the plays. And he's been doing it for years. He has that rhythm. So, okay, DWC came with the pressure, got the sack. And we've seen the Cougars use the screen a lot over the years. But they struggled the last couple of years, but that was perfectly executed.
So here's the kickoff, end over end, going to be fielded by DWC at their own 11. This is Van Dern Blackman, who's going to work up towards the 24-yard line. That kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
And Ben Cook has shown a lot of improvement in the last 2 seasons as a pass catcher. I remember earlier last season they had some screens where they missed the connection on it. And right there, a lot has to go right for a screenplay to work. You have to have the trust to allow the lineman to come in, and you have to be patient, and you have to put the ball away. And he did all of those things.
And Cook, one of the athletes on this HFL team that's really more of a lacrosse player. I don't know how much football he played growing up, but here's a pass play, short. Looking in the direction of, believe, Reed Martin.
Not much of a clean pocket for Gardner to throw. He really couldn't get into that. And you asked before the last series if it was starting to get to be desperation time for DWC. I think we're getting close there. You really need to try to get points on before the end of the half here, or the second half is going to be really difficult.
And especially with HFL deferring.
Yeah, other than the interception, HFL's been very sharp tonight. And the interception was off a tip pass, so you can't really put even too much stock in that.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10, Gardner will keep it on the option, and he's going to have to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Steinhoff came clean off the edge, wasn't able to get the tackle, but turned Gardner right back in, and Keaton Yates was there to clean up. The improvement in the HFL defense over the course of the season, when we saw them in the first 2 games against Monroe and Batavia, has been astronomical, too. This is a much different and more confident defense than we saw the first 3 weeks in September.
And that first away game that they had against Waverly, certainly that was a test for this HFL defense as they've kind of molded into final form here. Quarterfinal football. Here's empty set. Gardner's just going to try and step up, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield for a sack. That's number 5 for HFL, Cooper Levine.
He was our player to watch, and he gave us something to watch right there. Was able to collapse the pocket, get in on Gardner, and keep him there and bring him down for the sack. So 3:37 to go here in the half. HFL will get the ball back one more time.
So Reed Martin comes in to kick. Heels at his own 8-yard line. Here's a snap. Rugby-style kick. End-over-end line drive fielded by Steinhoff inside his own 45. Up past midfield. Working the far sideline. Still going inside the 30. Little shifty move there and then tackled inside the 20-yard line. So a big return there.
Yeah, Steinhoff did a great job of coming up on the ball. Last time he had to field it deeper. Gets it at the 41, is able to cut back. And once he gets through this first line here, you see the picket fence standing up. And you see Austin Kriego with his hands in the air. I don't know if he was signaling touchdown or just making sure he didn't block anybody in the back. But the special team's been strong for HFL again tonight. First down inside the 20.
There was a close call there with Keaton Yates. Potential blindside block, no call. HFL comes out empty set. Meacham looks, firing towards the back of the end zone, and that's going to be caught for the touchdown. Andrew Wazenreed backpedaling and able to haul it in. Finds the Meehan Architecture end zone for the second time tonight, Wazenreed.
Yeah, trips to the top. They've thrown the screen a lot tonight. You know that HFL has multiple options on a play. Meacham, I think, takes a look at Ben Cook, and a little stutter step there by Wazenreed, gets a defender moving backwards, and he's just backpedaling in the end zone, meets the ball, second touchdown of the night.
And it looked like Reese Dixon maybe had the time to recover there, but just the separation between him and Wazenreed, too great to make a play on the ball. As here's the PAT attempt. It's up, and it's good. So Cougars 27, DWC nothing. As here's the punt return that set up the touchdown for HFL. We mentioned there's a little block there. Ref thought about it. No call.
And that really was the block that sprung Steinhoff right there. That was allowed him to get to midfield and get going down the far sideline. So a good notice there by Dan Hart, who's helping us out tonight.
No, I believe he didn't throw a flag. He threw the little blue. Well, if it was thrown, it was ultimately picked up, and here's the touchdown to Wazenreed.
And I think you mentioned the defensive back having time to recover, but it's just hard to get the footwork going there when you're in scramble mode a little bit. And, we talked about the screen pass being classic HFL. So was that pass right there. You just had the big special teams play. You've got all the momentum. You go for the quick touchdown, and now it's 27-0, and the Cougars have to be feeling pretty good about themselves with 2:53 to go in the first half.
This kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises, who specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Deep kick, and it's going to be muffed and ultimately picked up, though, by Dixon, who's going to be tackled high inside his 20-yard line. We got a late penalty flag, probably in the neighborhood of a face mask or
maybe
horse
unnecessary
collar.
roughness, too. See what the official call is. Personal foul. Yep, face mask. Peter, you're all over it.
So that'll be a 15-yard penalty against the Cougars, give DWC a little bit better starting field position with about 2:47 to go in the second quarter. It'll be 1st and 10. Waiting on the official to finish marking this one off. We'll call it the 33-yard line.
And if you're DWC, you'll take that. You need any break you can get right now just to get some positive momentum working in your favor.
And if DWC can just kind of string together a couple positive plays, they've had a positive play, but then it's followed up by a negative play. So all they need to just cut down on those negative plays and string together a couple first downs and try and get some points up on the board before half.
And, coaches always talk about stacking positives, right? That's exactly what you're talking about. Gardner on the keeper.
And Gardner going to be tackled in the backfield. So that's going to be a loss. Clock will roll. Both teams have 2 timeouts left.
And this wasn't one of our keys because I think it's a key to every game. But the point of attack tonight, the Cougars have really done a nice job of getting push, getting pressure, and just limiting the options for DWC.
Yeah, and I doubt we see HFL take any timeouts here between now and half, given the lead, and they'll start with the ball. So we close in on 2 minutes in the second quarter. DWC bunch to the bottom. Here's the snap. Option.
Nowhere to go.
And Gardner's going to be swallowed up in the backfield.
Cook and Fasek right there. Again, the HFL defensive line just getting tremendous penetration. Maybe it was a screen pass that just HFL, they probably practice against it a lot because they do it so well, diagnosed it, and were able to just give Gardner no space at all.
So back-to-back negative plays for DWC. We'll have a timeout. Stops the clock with 1:38. Not sure who took the timeout, but this timeout brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with should give, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund, invest right here. And it looks like it was DWC who took the timeout there, so that'll be their second timeout. They'll have one left with about 98 seconds to go in the first half. 3rd and very long. Steve, what sort of play you think we'll see here? More than likely a pass.
I think you have to pass, but you have to also be careful because HFL has been on such a roll the last several minutes. You don't want to set them up. The Cougars do have timeouts, so you just can't run it into the line because then you're inviting the Cougars to go on that 2-minute drill. So I think maybe it's something short, something safe, and just try to get yardage and maybe get a penalty and get the first down.
So they come back out after the timeout in an old school I formation. Gardner under center. Just going to be a pitch to the left side here. And it's going to be Blackman who's dropped immediately, maybe a gain of 1. We do have a late flag there. This is going to be a personal foul. Horse collar tackle against the HFL defense. So DWC catches a huge break there. That'll give them a new set of downs, move the ball 15 yards closer to midfield.
And the penetration, it was Jacobucci and Englert who were there to make the initial stop. Angle here wasn't the greatest on the tackle, so I'm not, I didn't see the horse collar myself, but we mentioned that, keeping it simple and trying to just move forward and maybe get a flag, and that's what happened. DWC has a new set of downs. No. Actually, they don't have a new set of downs, Peter.
It was not enough because it was
3rd and 18.
So it's going to bring up 3rd and short. But wouldn't a personal foul be an automatic first?
That's not the way it's being administered right now. I heard an interesting conversation on the Bills pregame show yesterday about when officials have conversations. Are they really having conversations? This looks like these officials are talking it over. There's nobody up top to tell them that how to administer the play, so I think it is going to be 3rd and 3.
Yeah, I'm not well versed enough in the high school football rules, but DWC takes their final timeout with 1:21 to go, so it's 3rd and 3.
And I think we're just so conditioned to hearing that with a personal foul that it's going to be a first down. So, but it's not. It's 3rd and 3.
Third and 3, Gardner from the gun, 3 receivers to the bottom. Here's the snap, looks to throw, far sideline, and in and out of the hands, off the fingertips of number 3, Reed Martin. He looks back, thought maybe he was touched. We'll see. Maybe
the D-back
incidental
lost
contact.
Yeah, the defensive back lost the balance. There may have been contact, but it just not enough to get the flag.
Just about a half stride too far for him. Could have been a big play. He was falling to the ground, so wouldn't have likely resulted in 6, but it certainly would have been a first down and flipping the field. As we have some late movement here, assuming that this is a punt. No, it's going to be a fake.
Wide open.
Looking for Reese Dixon, and he had him. The defender fell down for HFL. He can't bring in the catch there. And
nice pass by Reed Martin. He didn't do much to sell it. He steps over. Dixon, who's the gunner, is all alone at the HFL 43 and not able to bring it in.
And so HFL will take over on downs at the 40-yard line with 1:15 to go and 1 timeout. They'll have to decide what they want to do, if they want to score again or...
Well, you mentioned this at the top of the broadcast. Matt Meacham's range as a kicker, they only need 15 or 20 yards to try a field goal. I think, given the success that they've had, they're going to be in attack mode here.
So here's the pass play to Steinhoff, near side, makes the first man miss, works out towards the sideline, stays in bounds, tackled at the 30-yard line. It'll be enough for an HFL first down, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Start the day off right with Iowa Organic Orange Juice, on sale every Thursday at HFMP. 52-ounce bottle for only $2.99 each.
Clock running. Meacham's already, the play's underway. He's scrambling. There's a flag. He throws the Wanzenreed on the far side, just beyond the marker, and another flag comes in. This play's got a lot going on, Peter.
Yeah, here's a replay. HFL came quick to the line. So we have 2 penalties, probably one in the neighborhood of holding, then the other one late, probably
on the hit, out of bounds, unnecessary roughness.
So they'll talk this over. Chains stay where they are for now. Now, we have as you mentioned earlier, the ref huddle. Now, one was during the play, the other one was at the end of the play, so do they offset? Looks like they're...
The hold is called. Rob Austin signaling to the HFL sideline, Robert Austin. And then it's a dead ball personal foul. I think the personal foul will be administered.
So they're going to move the ball back for the holding and then move it back or forward.
So it's going to be a net gain of 5 yards for the Cougars.
And the play counts, or at least the play doesn't count, but the time counts. So we'll be at 40 seconds, and it should be first.
It's going to be about 1st and 3.
First and...
So the hold must have been assessed from the spot of the foul, and so that wasn't walked back all the way. So now we get I don't think that the down marker on the far side is accurate. They're at least a yard inside of that. So it's about 1st and 4.
Regardless, HFL to throw. Meacham lofts it up. He's got Wazenreed, and he's going to be tackled inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. HFL only has 1 timeout left. They rush to the field here. We'll take a quick look at the replay.
Yeah, Wazenreed's had separation all night. He's right there, and another first down. Keaton Yates coming on late.
Clock ticking down to 25 seconds. 1st and goal. Cook motions to Meacham's left, and it's a design quarterback keep. Meacham's going to be short, get a couple yards, and HFL should be taking their final timeout, and they do. That previous first down was brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. HFMP bakes sub rolls from scratch every day so that every bite of an HFL submarine sandwich is bursting with flavor. This timeout brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left in an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund, invest right here. So do you agree with taking all that time off the clock, then running the ball? And
I think the Cougars are fine. They've been so good in the short slant game, the 5-yard line. I think you come out probably with a formation with 4 receivers and let Meacham make the read. I would look to probably see 4 slant routes or maybe 2 slant routes on the inside and a vertical. It looks like they're going trips to the top though.
So if done correctly, they can probably get at least 2 plays here, but can't complete anything in bounds. That would be the half. So they roll Meacham out to the right here, 2nd and goal. Throws it back. He's got a man, and it's caught. That's Keaton Yates for the HFL touchdown. 6 seconds left to go. Take another look. As you mentioned, throws back to his left, and Yates was all alone in the Meehan Architecture end zone.
Great job of scheming Yates to get him open, and Cougars have just had almost a perfect first half here. Avery Reynoldson on to kick the extra point.
Snap, hold, and kick up, and no good. Believe that just went wide right. So Cougars stay 33. DWC still yet to get on the board. And here's that 4th down.
Yeah, the receivers open, the defensive back fell, and it just missed opportunities, right? It was key number 1, and then the short passing game has really opened things up for the Cougars tonight. The patience of Steinhoff to make the catch, and that's just really kind of weave his way down the field inside the 30. I think, what did the Cougars have, like a minute 11 left when they got the ball, and they really executed to perfection.
This upcoming kickoff brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with. Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Maybe my only critique on that last drive for HFL was it seemed like Steinhoff maybe had an option to get out of bounds there on the screen pass. Stays inbounds. He cut in instead of cut out and took up time, but HFL doesn't have to sweat it. They're able to find the end zone with 6 seconds to go.
And it's 26 points in 7 minutes, 25 seconds, Peter. So huge second quarter for the Cougars.
Deep kick. This is Van Dermy Blackman. Inside the 35-yard line, horn sounds. So that's the first half. Cougars leading 33-0. We'll take a quick commercial timeout.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue, local, uncompromised, quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises, for nearly 30 years, they've been one of Rochester's most trusted contractors. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, deck, and painting. Give Todd and the folks at Alexander Enterprises a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And the Meehan Architecture Sports Update. Girls volleyball takes on East High tomorrow in sectionals. They'll be home at the HFL A Gym tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Boys soccer made it all the way to the semifinal round of sectionals this past Tuesday, but fell to Pittsford Sutherland 3-1. Tonight's game also brought to you by Four Corners Eye Care and Optical, now celebrating 30 years. Four Corners Eye Care and Optical provides full scope vision and medical eye care, as well as optical services in the convenient location of the Four Corners of Honeoye Falls. Dr. Kissick and his staff are proud to call HFL home all these years. Hundreds of local residents, including myself, are proud to call Dr. Kissick their optometrist. Give Dr. Kissick at Four Corners Eye Care and Optical a call at 624-2122. And the MHFL Sentinel. The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, your local community newspaper since 1989, producing tonight's broadcast in partnership with the Section 5 Broadcast Network. You can visit their website, mhflsentinel.com, for breaking local community news, or follow along on Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, and Instagram. So we'll take a quick timeout here at HFL. We'll come back with some first half highlights, some analysis, and what to expect in the second half of play, as we are looking live at Jupiter off in the distance. Hard to see. And those are the moons of Jupiter. So we'll leave you with that as we take a brief timeout here at HFL. And we are back live here at HFL after a unsuccessful attempt to show tonight's fall moon with about 3 minutes here to go in halftime. We'll take a quick look at the first half highlights. Cougars leading 33-0 over DWC.
And HFL was able to, they won the toss, deferred. Here's the first drive. Matt Meacham rolls out, finds Andrew Wanzenreed, reliable back of the end zone. 4-yard pass, 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the first quarter, and the Cougars are up 7-0.
So then the Cougars come back, scoring in the other end zone is Harrison Houle, finding the Meehan Architecture end zone.
That starts a 26-0 run in the second quarter. Here's a very well-designed screen pass. Cougars had just been sacked, had a negative play. See number 1, Ben Cook, sneak out of the backfield, catch the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and it's clear sailing from there. Good downfield block by Aaron Fasek. Cook down the sideline, last-ditch attempt by the tackler, and Cook's able to dive in for the score.
And then with 2:53 to go, it's Matt Meacham finding his favorite target this season. Back right corner of the end zone, Andrew Wanzenreed on the fade ball.
Yeah, Wanzenreed got behind the defender. That third touchdown pass of the half allowed Matt to tie the school record of 20 touchdown passes in a season. And then coming up here, it's with just 6 seconds left in the half, another throwback across the field. Meacham to Keaton Yates, cutting across. 33-0 Cougars. 4 touchdown passing half for Matt Meacham. Not a bad guy to have as our player to watch, huh?
Not a bad player at all. And it's the Cougars who will get the ball here to start the second half. Any out-of-town score updates?
Just one. We were trying to just check all of Class B, but in the 4-5 game, Wayne has a 15-0 lead over number 5 Virtus. The Monroe game with Rochester Prep is tomorrow. No report from Batavia Geneva. A little bit more difficult to track down scores during the playoffs, at least the first round of the playoffs, Peter. So with the Cougars up 33-0 in line to host next week, I'm sure there's a lot of interest as whether that opponent will indeed be Batavia.
So DWC defense going to be under a little bit of pressure, have to generate a stop. Well, they'll have to ultimately generate a handful of stops here in the first half, but it starts with this opening possession here for HFL. What do you expect to see in the second half of the play?
I think HFL comes out with the first drive and tries to do what they've done all night. If they're able to score on the first drive and a touchdown and get up, by another touchdown, I think then you pump the brakes a little bit and still crank up the defense, but then offensively you slow things down and try to start thinking about next week.
So the clock hits zeros here. Both teams out on the field. We had about 2.5 minutes added to the clock. So a little bit of an extended warm-up period as we're accustomed to seeing here at HFL.
And, Peter, you're a pretty good historian when it comes to HFL football. Who held the previous record of 20 touchdown passes in a season?
I believe it was a two-way tie. Matt Meacham, in fact, you know what, if you give me a moment, I've got the printout right here. The record was, that I have, was Matt Meacham with 20, as well as Jason Beaumont. Now, I'm not quite, the one caveat is I'm not quite sure how the record keeping works, if it includes playoff games, if it's only regular season, and if this number includes all of last year's sectionals, if the playoffs are included, or not. So
unofficially, we think it's a record with 21 touchdown passes in this season in 8.5 games for Matt Meacham.
Certainly close.
We can confirm during the week, but and certainly just a fantastic first half. HFL sharpest they've looked since I've seen them this year. I was not here for the Geneva game, but and this is my fourth time seeing them live, and it's definitely the most impressive performance that they've put forth. What are your thoughts on the second? I mean, it's it is win or go home, but at what point do you feel like you can start slowing down a little bit and getting ready for next week?
I think it depends on the opening drive, what we see. If they can go down and comfortably score, certainly the defense has really stepped up. DWC was able to get a couple positive plays, a couple big plays. There was a couple penalties that went their way, a couple penalties that maybe should have been called or were called and picked up, but that's a debate for another day. If HFL can certainly feel like they're taking care of business on both sides of the ball, maybe we see some other guys roll in. Obviously, at sectionals, JV players are pulled up, no play restrictions. So it was Nate Meacham, Matt's younger brother, who got some playing time last week through his first touchdown pass, I believe, at the varsity level. But Cougars just got to probably keep their foot on the gas pedal here through the third quarter, and then they can probably coast in the fourth. But like I said, it starts with this opening drive. If they can pick up where they left off, then they can start thinking about that. But until then, it's business as usual.
And I don't think we can underestimate the play of the special teams units for HFL tonight either. The long punt return helped set up a touchdown. Meacham's leg has been strong on the kickoffs. They've really won the field position battle, and the defense has come up with a turnover too. So pretty much everything you wanted in the first half if you're an HFL fan.
So this opening kickoff of the second half brought to you by Alexander Enterprises, who specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
So DWC set to kick off here. It'll be number 3, Reed Martin.
And a little bit of trickeration here by DWC. They line up, and we'll see if they do a little onside, and they do. That's a live football, and still loose, waiting to see what the call was. It was DWC who had the first opportunity at it, and it looks like they're going to call it in favor of HFL. So well executed by the kick, but just sliding past it. DWC player on the far sideline, and that's kind of been the story of the night so far for DWC. There's been some trick plays, and they are that close to being perfectly pulled off. We saw the fake on fourth down drop. There's been a couple drops, and that's just another opportunity that they just can't fully execute on, and HFL ends up with great starting field position at about their own 45-yard line.
I love that call, though, and it was well done. As soon as the DWC players got tight in the huddle, the HFL front line got tight and then gave them some space where they had a chance to make the play on that.
Nice pitch and catch there between Meacham and Wazenreed results in a HFL first down, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. HFMP is proud to be a good neighbor to the HFL community for 40 years now.
And Wazenreed and Meacham are in that rhythm. We've seen that a lot the last couple of years. Come out on the first play, run the slant, get the first down, and try and keep the positive momentum going for the Cougars.
So after the completion through the air, Cougars now 1st and 10. Ball at the DWC 40. Handoff to Conor Finn. Finn to the far sideline. He's got the first down and more. Knocked out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. That's another Cougar first down, brought to you by HFMP. Entertaining at home, HFMP is the exclusive purveyor of wholly sustained raised shrimp located in their frozen seafood department.
And good blocking up front by the Cougars. Finn with patience on that run. Got to the outside, and the Cougars are almost in the red zone.
So clock rolling, closing on the end of the first minute of the second half as the Cougars are just outside the red zone. Snap, handoff. That's Harrison Hoole, who's going to gain about 3 or 4 yards.
I like the ball handling on this play. You see Meacham fake it to Finn. Hoole comes back around, and nice hold there and a nice tackle by the DWC defense.
So I do want to go back to that opening second half onside kick. we talked about one of the keys to the game. It's win or go home. Can't hold anything back now, and that was certainly...
Yeah, we had just talked about what HFL was going to do, and that was DWC saying, hey, we're still here. We're not going to go away without our best effort. And like I said, I love the call, and it was very close to being a recovery.
So that's Conor Finn on the handoff. Nice play in the backfield by DWC. It took a couple players to bring him down, but it was also ultimately a tackle for a loss.
Yeah, I think it might have been Gardner that got in there first, along with Elijah Bender, and then we had Aiden Schaefer there to wrap it up.
So 3rd and 9 for this HFL offense. We have 6 down linemen, 2 running backs in the backfield. Cook is lined up like a tight end, who will split out far to the left. And Meacham throws. It's going to be caught by number 8, Alex Steinhoff, and he's got the first down at the 11-yard line. So another Cougar first down brought to you by HFMP. From sheet cakes to cookie cakes, the bake shop at HFMP can custom decorate a delicious and beautiful cake for any occasion.
Well-designed play there, too. The motion by Hool drew a defender there, opened up an angle, and then with the slant route, Steinhoff had room, was able to make the catch, give the Cougars another first down.
So 1st and 10 from the 11. Cougars again come out with 6 down linemen. 2 running backs in the backfield. Meacham to throw. Lofts it to his right. And that's going to be waiting on the call. It is a touchdown. Andrew Wazenried. And I believe that's a hat trick for him in the Meehan Architecture end zone.
Absolutely, 3-step drop. Meacham looks up over the top. Wazenried's there to haul it in for the 10-yard touchdown pass. His 3rd in the night. Meacham's 5th TD pass this evening.
Somewhere Randy Moss is smiling.
Who knows? Maybe that'll show up somewhere or something. That became a verb. Moss became a verb because of that.
So here's the point after attempt. Avery Reynoldson up and just short. So Cougars 39, DWC 0. About 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. The onside kick gave HFL the good field position. We'll take a look at it. You can see the lone DWC player on the far sideline had first crack at it. Couldn't bring it in.
That was almost like a soccer play with the chip, as you called, and then right here, Meacham, the quick drop, looks back to the end zone. Wazenried again. That's very similar to his 2nd touchdown catch. He was behind the defense, was able to turn his body and just high point the ball and bring it in.
This upcoming kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
So that's about as good of an opening drive for HFL that you could have asked for. Go down the field in just under 3 minutes, get that touchdown, and I think maybe after this that maybe we'll see some other new players working on offense. You think that's probably what we're going to see, Peter?
I think that could be in the cards here, depending on how this defensive series can go for the Cougars. Deep kick. Van Dermy Blackman brings it out. He had a good return in the first half. This one gets up past the 35-yard line.
Yeah, he's in the open field, and he's a playmaker. Nice setup there. Deep kick by Meacham. Good blocking, gets him through at the 20, weaves his way up forward, and then the HFL coverage team is able to bring him down at the 35.
If it was a closer game, I would wonder if they start kicking away from him.
So let's look at the DWC approach. They have start with 2 backs in the backfield. We haven't seen that a lot tonight. One of the backs lined up there is Reed Martin.
So this is DWC's first offensive possession of the second half. They come out throwing the ball, and that's going to be intercepted.
Conor Finn.
Conor Finn with another interception. That's his 5th of the season. He had an interception off of Gardner 2 weeks ago and finds one tonight.
Nice job just squatting on the route, able to adjust to the ball, go in and make the play. Finn's been on a roll.
Almost like a basketball player boxing out an opponent in the paint there, getting good position and able to reel that one in, secure the catch. HFL right back on offense. So probably no time to talk about substitutions right away. Cougars inside the DWC 40-yard line. 2 running backs in the backfield. They hand off to Finn. Finn bounces off the first tackler, and he's going to be tackled inside the 30-yard line. That'll be enough for an HFL first down, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. If you're longing for the brands you grew up, look no further than HFMP.
Nice run by Finn. He met 33. The linebacker, Zayden Teed, head on, bounced off him, and continued for another first down. So the Meacham and Wanzen Reed were in for that play. I see Wanzen Reed has subbed out, and number 10 for HFL, that's Jack Farabell in at the receiver here on the near side.
Another handoff, this time to Hoole. Hoole will get maybe 1 or 2. Jack Farabell, he's had a couple catches this year, 2 touchdowns on the season.
And it's a chance to work some players in to get to play with Matt Meacham. Obviously, Wanzen Reed has started the season a little banged up. He's got 3 touchdowns tonight. You probably don't need him the rest of the way. And to give some other players a chance to work with Matt Meacham at least on this drive and see if HFL can sustain it.
So 7.5 to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 9 for the Cougars. Ball at about the 26-yard line. Here's a snap. Fakes the handoff to Hoole. Looks it, fires it over the middle, and dangerously in the direction of Cook, I believe, from his tight end position. It was Van Dermy Blackman who was able to get a glove on it, but too high for him to make a play.
It just felt like the timing was off a little bit on that play. Once Cook was able to clear the line, he had his arm up as he was open early, but as the play developed, kind of ran out of space, ran out of time.
So Landon Hammond checks in as Dan Hoyt gives the play call to Matt Meacham, 3rd and 9. See if the Cougars can sustain this drive off the interception by Finn. Here's the handoff. This is Cook. Cook powers ahead. He's going to be short of the line of gain, so it'll bring up 4th and short.
Looks like the field goal unit's coming on. I see Nate Meacham, who's the holder, so we're probably going to get a chance to see if Matt Meacham can drill a field goal from about 36 yards away. That looks like the spot's going to be at the 26, making it a 36-yard try.
So here's Matt Meacham, 36 yards from the right hash. Snap, hold, kicks away. It's high. And it's good. So Matt Meacham, have a night.
5 touchdown passes and a 36-yard field goal. And Meacham had plenty of leg there, Peter. I wasn't sure if it may have been drifting because of the angle, but definitely had the leg. Ball was up, and I would say he made that by about 5 yards.
He had 3 field goals a week ago, all 25 plus. Here's the turnover generated by Conor Finn that set up the Matt Meacham field goal. Cougars now 42, DWC nothing.
And I think that field goal, I mean, it does a couple of things for HFL beyond giving them 3 points here tonight. It lets them know that Matt Meacham's range is probably somewhere between 35 and 40 yards if you need that in another close game. And it also gives teams that prepare to play HFL something more to think about when they're in the red zone, because if you're thinking that they have to go for the end zone every time, you're going to play a different coverage there, where maybe if it's where HFL only needs to get to the 20, you got to defend it a little different.
This kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises, who specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. And it goes right back to Van Dermy Blackman. And right on cue, has a great return out towards the 44, 43-yard line.
Yeah, and another deep kick. So Van Dermy Blackman catches this one at the 15-yard line, goes right up the middle, gets a couple of blocks, and the starting field position for DWC has not been bad tonight.
Haven't been able to capitalize on it, though, thus far.
Well, and that is the one similarity to the last time. It's just that the offense, when it's had its opportunities, just hasn't been able to cash in.
So we'll see how Gardner responds after the one-play interception drive last time out. This is a handoff.
Ben Cook came off the defensive end there, set the edge, and was just able to shut down that play before it got started.
That was Charles Henshin on the carry for DWC.
And it does look, Peter, like the Cougars have subbed in some players on defense.
We have a flag. Officials are talking it over. Looks like they're pointing towards HFL. Dead ball. Personal foul against HFL.
So that'll be 15 yards and a first down for DWC.
Yeah, not sure what it was specifically on, but gives DWC a big 15 yards. They're now in HFL territory at the 42-yard line, and as you said, Cougars have been substituting on defense. So we'll see if Gardner can take advantage of maybe some twos on HFL as he has a big run for a first down, still on his feet inside the 20-yard line.
And nice run there by Nate Gardner. Makes a cut at the 30, goes around the defender, and he's inside the 15-yard line for DWC.
And that was Landon Hammond, number 2 for HFL, who was unable to get to Gardner. Now they find themselves in the red zone for the first time tonight. So 4 receivers set. DWC in the pistol. Low snap. Gardner play broke down there. Looked like he was trying to hand off, but him and the running back weren't on the same page. Has to just run ahead, and he's going to be able to get a couple. And we have players immediately calling for the training staff to come on field. I believe that is Nate Gardner, the ball carrier, who seems to be in a fair amount of pain.
And we just hope that everything is okay with Gardner. We know that he was injured in the first game of the season on the 4th play and missed several weeks. Has come back the second half of the season and done a great job. And Coach Chad Perry really talked about not just him as a player, but him as a leader, and how the other players on the DWC team are able to feed off of him. And he called him the cog in the engine and really kind of the conductor of the DWC orchestra. So hope that that nothing serious is going on right now.
So both teams in huddles on their respective sides. Seemed like the type of play where you have just an extended tackle, I'll say, and players starting to gang up, and you get feet caught, and
right, you don't know if
people's body weight getting put on other people's body weight and
getting tangled, and just you hear the term sometimes on a Sunday in the NFL, you got rolled up on, right, where maybe somebody in the pile falls on a limb or a body part that wasn't expected, and sometimes that leads to injuries.
And it looks like he is able to walk off the field. Initially, nope, he's adamant, it looks like, on walking off the field unassisted with an obvious limp, but that is certainly good to see him able to get off under his own power. Going to have to see a substitution here at quarterback for DWC. We saw the backup working on snaps. We'll have to see who that player is. Looks like it's going to be Reed Martin, jack of all trades for this DWC football team, who will come in relief here. Pistol formation. Martin hands off. This is Henshin. He's going to pick up a good 4 or 5 yards. Bring up 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4, just outside of the 10. And Reed Martin's an impressive player, Peter. He's done just about a little bit of everything. Strong leg, plays defense out on the perimeter, been a receiver, and had that fake punt that almost clicked. Now he's forced into duty at quarterback.
So Reed Martin from the shotgun, 3 receiver set. Martin collects the snap, looking to throw. Going to throw a swing pass to the far sideline. That's going to be up to about the line to gain, and they're going to say they give him the first. So 1st and goal, DWC. Believe that was Aiden Schaefer catching out of the backfield.
Yeah, nice play there. Kind of second read for Martin, able to find Schaefer. He weaves his way up to the 7-yard line where, as you said, it's 1st and goal.
So DWC knocking on the door here. Their first and goal situation tonight, 4:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. I formation. Looks like the offense might have jumped there, right sideline, or right side of the offensive line.
Yep, just a little bit of anticipation there. Couldn't hold back, and they'll march them back 5.
So it'll be 1st and goal from the 12 now for DWC. Clock rolling here.
And for DWC now, Peter, it's just about making plays and getting in the end zone and trying to leave something positive, something to build on as they head towards the 4th quarter here tonight and probably into the offseason.
So Reed Martin, as we have a penalty.
Illegal substitution, I believe.
Against the offense. So that's going to move them back another 5 yards. So we'll try this again. 1st and goal now from the 17-yard line.
Looked like they had 12 people out there, Peter. We've got a lot of technology, not quite the telestrator, but we did see a player go off at the end.
So here's the 1st and goal play. Reed Martin to throw. Lofts one up to the end zone, and that's short. But they draw the penalty. That's going to be called, I believe, against the HFL defense, Jack Farabell. Going to be called for defensive pass interference, and you can see he's got his hands on number 4's jersey. That's Van Dermy Blackman.
And it definitely did impede Van Dermy Blackman's attempt to make a play on the ball. Good call there. Fresh set of downs coming up here for DWC.
Now, here's a high school football rule I do know. It is not placed at the 1-yard line. It's just a
half the distance, right?
10-yard penalty, I thought. Or no, it's half the distance in this case because they were from the 17 and they go to the 9. And we've got more pre-snap penalties.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit later in the game and some new opportunities for people and kind of slowed down here a little bit.
So we're going to get yet another 1st and goal for DWC. And now we've got a timeout called by DWC. This timeout brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. Steve, you think we are witnessing a record of consecutive first and goal plays?
We could be. I don't know if that's officially kept by the National Federation of High Schools, but yeah, it's certainly slowed down here. You've got a backup quarterback in for DWC. You've got some changes in the personnel up front. You've got a lot of reserves in on defense for the Cougars, so the fresh set of downs on the pass interference. But, it's more about participation and getting the kids out there and having a good time. Now, who's in a quarterback now? Gardner's back in.
Yeah, Gardner has checked back in, and they're going to call him down at the 10-yard line.
So that's great. I mean, just to see him being down for as long as he was and coming off the field, it looked like the ball came out after he was down. He tried to pick it up and continue. But to have him back in the game, that's great for DWC. And Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton, obviously a merged team. This is their third season together. Chad Perry's first season as their head coach.
Second and goal. Nate Gardner from the shotgun. Gardner to throw, and that's going to be nearly intercepted by the Cougars. That was number 3, Christopher Harrison Jr., who had a great look at that one, just standing right in the passing lane.
Yeah, 53. That was a good drop by Harrison Jr. And, man, it would have been a chance for him to make a big play out there with the defense.
DWC facing third and goal from the 10-yard line. Here's Nate Gardner to pass. Rolls to his left. Throws one up. He's got a man. And he's going to dive for the pylon, and he's got it. That's number 4, Zayden Van Dermy Blackman, finding the end zone here for DWC as they get on the board here with about 2:07 to go in the third quarter.
And Van Dermy Blackman has been all night long. He's been doing a great job on the kickoff returns. Nice to see him get in the end zone.
So here is the point after attempt. Reed Martin will be the kicker. Reese Dixon the holder. Here's the snap, the hold, kick up, and good. And he's got quite the leg. We haven't been able to see it on display tonight. We mentioned about what that target range is. Now,
Coach Perry said he could kick from 45 yards all day when we talked to him a couple of weeks ago. And, that's always – game conditions and practice conditions are always different, but nothing there to think that he couldn't. He really got into that one.
So here's that kickoff return that started that DWC possession with decent starting field position up towards the 45-yard line. Then there was a big run by Gardner. He ended up getting hurt on a couple plays later. And then after all those first and goals, it gave Gardner enough time to get the attention he needed on the sideline, check back in. And DWC on the board with 7 points, making the score 42 HFL, 7 DWC.
And Van Dermy Blackman was contacted by the defender about the 3-yard line, was able to break that tackle and get into the end zone.
This kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. And DWC tried to maybe catch HFL off guard there with the fake onside kick, but instead they kick it deep, very deep. HFL has to field it at their own goal line. This is Conor Finn, who's weaving around and somehow finds a running lane, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds just before the 40-yard line. So talk about making something with nothing.
Conor Finn did that. He's shifty. We saw that in the first half with the run, and sometimes the bobble throws the blocking off, throws the timing off, so he starts at his own goal line. Tackler misses him at the 10, where he actually eludes 4, gets caught up in the traffic and is able to pull outside, and then it's just Reed Martin there to shoulder him out of bounds. And I think we have a Nate Meacham sighting for the Cougars.
Yep, he's checking in at quarterback. And just one more thing about Finn. I mean, he's really developed, like we said, into that utility player for HFL that they've seen in the past couple years with like a JT Killenbeck.
Yeah, and he's a junior, so you just think that his role is going to continue to grow in the program. And we've seen him in spots as a JV call-up make plays, but he's really been a consistent contributor this year.
So the first play is a handoff to Jerry Lant there, and he's going to be met in the backfield. Loss of 3 yards, so it'll bring up 2nd and 13 for HFL.
And kind of as we expected, after the first drive was successful for the Cougars, they did get the second drive that was quick off the quick interception. Now with the larger lead, they're going in and letting some of the reserves play now as we head towards the start of the fourth quarter. Just 1 minute left here in the third.
So we'll get our scoreboard operated there correctly. So here's Meacham after the loss on first down. They go right back to Lant there. He's going to get some of it back. They'll call it about a 1 yard gain, so that'll bring up 3rd and 12.
And tackle made there by Elijah Bender. He's a two-way starter, and he's a Class B, one of the better linemen in Class B. And as a junior, time's ticking down on the end of this season for him, but his effort is still full speed here.
So as we approach the 32nd mark of the third quarter, this could be possibly the last play of the third quarter, depending on what HFL calls here and if the clock keeps moving. Going to be a handoff to Lant there. He's got some space this time to get out of the backfield, but again, only able to muster a yard there, so that'll bring up 4th and 11. Punting unit coming on the field, 5 seconds to go, so that will have been the last play of the third quarter. So we will take a quick commercial timeout here at HFL. Cougars leading 42-7.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. For nearly 30 years, Alexander Enterprises has been one of Rochester's most trusted contractors. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give Todd and the folks at Alexander Enterprises a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And Meehan Architecture with the Meehan Architecture Sports Update. Girls swimming and diving. The HFL girls swimmers, Siobhan N., Olivia C., and Isabel T. compete in sectionals at Churchville Chili tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. As we have a timeout called before the HFL punt. A lot of sectional activity tomorrow for a plethora of HFL teams, as this timeout is brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here.
And Peter, I did get a chance to check the out-of-town scoreboard in between the third and fourth quarter. Wayne has extended its lead over Virtus to 22-0 in the second half. The winner of that game will play the winner of the Monroe game. Monroe plays tomorrow afternoon. Monroe is an undefeated top seed. Still nothing to report from Batavia Geneva.
So here's the punt by HFL, And that's going to go out of bounds. So DWC will have decent starting field position as we wait for the spot, and they're going to call it the 39-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Dansville Wayland-Cohocton football team as we are in the first minute of the fourth quarter. HFL leading 42-7. Cougars the 2 seed over the 7th seeded DWC football team. Winner to play in the semifinals next week.
And if HFL holds on, they would host that game.
So last time DWC had the football, they were able to find the end zone. We'll see what they can pull together on this offensive possession as Gardner under center goes for the handoff. And this is a nice first down. That's number 51, Elijah Bender.
Letting the big man carry the football. We like that, big man football.
All 6'4", 240 of Elijah Bender gets across midfield. And DWC, with a little bit of tempo, they line right back up, same formation, and hand it right back off to Bender. And he gets another 8-9 yards there.
And the DWC being energized here by Bender, seeing him get out there. He's very enthusiastic about getting to carry the ball. You know, as a two-way lineman, that probably doesn't happen very often. And those 2 carries pick up about 17 yards, and I guarantee there's a big smile on his face, too, as he checks out.
Gets a hug from his teammates. As we mentioned, the junior has been a leader for this DWC defense all year, coming into the night, 65 total tackles, 17 for a loss, 10 sacks. Good to see him get 2 runs there. Bender checks out, as we mentioned, and checking in for him is Aiden Schaefer, who makes a nice little shifty move there. He's got the first down and lowers his shoulder and gets to the 30. A little bit of an angry run there by Schaefer.
Yeah, some thunder and lightning here from DWC. After having Bender plow up the middle twice, Schaefer is able to bounce it outside, and he lowers his shoulder into the HFL defender before him being brought down just inside the 30.
New set of downs for DWC at the HFL 30-yard line.
And as a former lineman, you kind of like seeing other linemen carry the ball. That's kind of a badge of honor, right?
Here's a handoff. Van Dermy Blackman breaks a tackle. A lot of green grass in front of him, and he's going to score. Zayden Van Dermy Blackman, 30-yard touchdown scamper.
And you see there the elusiveness of Van Dermy Blackman and the speed. He's able to pull away from the defense. Second touchdown of the night.
So DWC 13 points pending the PAT here. Just under 9:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Here's Reed Martin. And the kickoff, his left foot is up and good.
That was a really good job by the holder there because the snap wasn't clean, able to adjust it. Martin punches it through.
So Elijah Bender able to inspire his team there with a little bit of energy boost that results ultimately in Van Dermy Blackman capping off the drive. As here's a look at the first run by Bender getting up past midfield.
Yeah, and he went 10 yards after the first contact, and the second run too. Breaks a tackle and nice 8-yard gain. And you can just see, I believe that's Reese Dixon coming off the sideline from his receiver position saying, let's go, let's go. And then Schaefer with a lower the shoulder inspired run there, and then you get it to Van Dermy Blackman, and he's scored touchdowns all year, has 2 blockers in front of him, cuts back on the hash, and wide open field in front.
So I believe that was a 4-play drive by DWC, marching right down the field and scoring. I think we showed you all 4 plays right there. DWC will now kick off, brought to you by Alexander Enterprises, who specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
And Peter, worth noting, number 71, Nathan Adair, is back deep to receive for HFL, along with Keaton Yates. So if Adair, who's a lineman, gets his hands on the ball, we know it's going to be a good night for all the big guys.
So we'll see if Martin sends it deep, and he does. And Harrison Houle is the one who ends up with it, and he's going to be tackled at about the 30-yard line. Looked like there was some confusion. All three players for HFL kind of looked at the ball. No one decided that they were going to go for it, and Houle just said, "I'll be the guy."
Smart play by Houle. Definitely an inspired run, but it's a live ball off the kickoff. After DWC just went 4 plays down the field, you definitely don't want to set them up inside your 30. A lot of new numbers into the huddle for HFL. Some JV call-ups that may not have their name on the most updated roster even.
Yep, JV season came to a close. Handful of those players got brought up to the varsity level. So we'll do our best to work with the roster we have in front of us. So Nate Meacham in the backfield at quarterback. Number 32 to his right.
That's Sam Oliver, 32.
And Sam Oliver gets the handoff. And Sam Oliver able to break the first tackle and has to work hard for a gain of about 4 there on first down.
Sam Oliver, just a freshman, Peter. He has been getting some reps on defense, and then, it looked like he was going to go down. That was Bender who he broke the tackle from, and Bender got a second shot at him near the sideline and was able to make sure he finished that play.
Believe this is the first action that we know of that Sam Oliver is getting at the varsity level, so try and make the most of the opportunity, and maybe he'll find himself up at the varsity level next year as we have a handoff here to Oliver again, trying to string out. And this time he's going to be tackled in the backfield.
Yeah, Bender is there to help set the edge. Good job by DWC.
Now we are yet to see Meacham throw the ball. This is Nate Meacham. I believe his season stats are he's completed 4 passes out of the 7 thrown, 63 yards and a score.
And he has put in a lot of the offseason work just like his older brother Matt has. We've talked a lot about, where Matt's traveled and what Matt's done. Nate's been with him so much of the time. So if Nate ends up being the guy at quarterback next year, you'll know that he's put in the work too.
So we have a new running back checking in the backfield for HFL. That was number 60, Alessandro Pringle. Another offensive lineman checking into this game, getting a chance to carry the ball. So HFL goes backwards, and they'll be punting as Matt Meacham has to check back into the field of play. In fact, it looks like most of the starters for HFL come onto the field for this special teams play.
Right. You want to keep your special teams clean. You don't want to give a block punt or have somebody get hurt.
And a dangerously high snap is well fielded by Meacham, and he gets a nice high kick as here is DWC returning the ball.
That's got to be Van Dermia Blackman again. You can just tell by the way that the legs keep churning and maximum effort there. He's been impressive tonight. And Van Dermia Blackman is a senior, 5'9", 160 pounds. So with 6:40 here to go, he's putting every ounce he has into this high school football career.
And the DWC offense starting again with very good field position at their own 40-yard line, 6:40 to go in the fourth quarter. They trail 14-42. So they're going to have to generate a handful of scores very quickly to get back into this one.
With HFL, a lot of young players just out there getting experience and kind of learning opportunity.
Here's a handoff for number 4. That's Van Dermy Blackman. Gets up into HFL territory inside the 45-yard line. Just a clean running lane.
Yeah, and he had the touchdown on his last carry, legs driving forward, all momentum going forward. And when an experienced player like Van Dermy Blackman playing against reserves is going to do well. He's checking out of the game right now. It looks like Quinn Dixon, number 7, is checking in at the halfback position. Also, number 20, Aiden Schaefer, checks out.
So they're going to go I formation. Dixon will, or check that, they're going to be pistol formation. Quinn Dixon to Gardner's left. He'll get the handoff. Breaks the first tackle, strings it out to the near sideline, lowers his shoulder and falls ahead for about 2 yards.
It looked like Renato Danella, number 34, making the tackle there for HFL.
Second and 8 now for DWC.
Danella, a 5'10", 150-pound sophomore wearing number 34.
So clock rolling here. We hit the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. DWC just looking to continue the offensive success that they've had the last couple series. We have a interesting formation here with a lot of players in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff to number 21 for DWC. I don't have him on my roster, but he's going to get the first down. Knocked out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, jet sweep handoff, couple blockers out in front. Runs for the first down.
So my guess is that's probably a JV pull-up for DWC. So new set of downs, ball at the 32. Closing in on the 4-minute mark now of the fourth quarter. Gardner from the pistol formation.
HFL showing blitz.
Here's the blitz. Going to be a handoff to Schaefer, and Schaefer's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
Look like Jerry Lonther in there on the tackle, 17, along with number 64, August Youngstrom. Youngstrom, a sophomore, listed at 6'3", 270 pounds, so good size in the middle of that line with Youngstrom and also number 58, Matthew Kirby, a junior.
You can see Nate Gardner coming back from the sideline, kind of hobbling a little bit. He's definitely probably battling through some sort of injury that he sustained earlier in this second half, as it's a run play here to number 21, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield.
Holden Cam with the tackle.
We do have a flag thrown on the far sideline.
Cam did it.
Horse collar tackle potentially.
I like the way that Cam took on the blocker and then made the tackle. Got him a little high, so you don't love the penalty on. Oh, they're picking it up.
They wave off the penalty. So it looked like on the replay it was a jersey and didn't have any sort of the inside edge of the equipment. So they pick up the penalty. Clock rolls here, under 3. 3rd and 13. Now, we haven't seen Gardner throw the ball in the last couple possessions. Hasn't had to. He did have the first touchdown of the night earlier.
To Van Dermy Blackman.
But since then, it's been all runs. Here's a sweep play to the left. That was Aiden Schaefer. So he loses a yard.
Big play there by Chris Settles, another sophomore, number 68, 6'1", 190 pounds.
So 2:14 to go. 4th and 14. DWC does have one timeout.
And I think that DWC not throwing the ball. I mean they know that HFL has subbed out their first stringers, and with your starting quarterback, I think you need Gardner for the stability, but you don't need him to throw. It's chance to just let the other players play and get their hands on the ball and have some fun.
A lot of players on the offensive line for HFL, and they meet the running back in the backfield. So that'll be a turnover on downs. And Cougars can probably just go out here in victory formation as we have the ones checking back in. So we'll see a couple kneel downs here by senior quarterback Matt Meacham. And that should do it here from HFL.
Then it's get ready for next week, right? We're not sure who they'll play, but we know that HFL will be playing.
And we will be carrying that game as well. It'll be once again on the Section 5 Broadcast Network and then on-demand viewing on our YouTube channel. Want to thank everyone for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Want to thank our crew operating the camera up top, Chris Carosa, instant replay operator Oliver Hansen. On graphics tonight, Dan Hart.
And just a super impressive performance tonight by the Cougars. We both came in thinking that this game was going to be closer, and I think Coach John Russ, thought it was going to be closer too, just the way that DWC looked on film last week against Batavia, having some players back healthy. But the way HFL played in the second quarter, took advantage of some big special teams play, some turnovers, and Matt Meacham with 4 touchdown passes in the first half really set the tone.
So under a minute, Meacham takes the knee, and I think we'll have to see one more of those, and this thing will go final. So Cougars 42, DWC 14. So we'll take a look at the bracket here before the last kneel down. Actually, we'll see it. We'll pull the bracket up, and you can see HFL will be moving on next week.
And the opponent will be either Batavia or Geneva. 2 teams that the Cougars have played this season.
So the 2 teams come to midfield for handshakes. Steve, any closing thoughts here?
I just thought it was a great performance by HFL. They got the stop on the first series on defense. Offense came out and set the tone. Rebounded from the lone mistake of the game, really. The interception with an interception of their own, and then put together 26 points in the last 7:30 of the first half, and really just sent a message that they were going to move on, and that 7th win in a row. And just the improvement all season in this team has been impressive to watch.
So final 42, Cougars 14, DWC football team. HFL moves on to the semifinal round of the 2023 Section 5 Class B semifinals. Stay tuned for opponent, time and date of next game. I'm Peter Carosa, joined alongside Steve Bradley. Until next week, thanks so much for tuning in to the Section 5 Broadcast Network for a special presentation by the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. Have a good night, folks.